In this video, we will be discussing the arteries of the pelvic limb in a dog. The view that you're seeing is from the medial aspect of the thigh, and we're going to start off cranially, very close to the abdomen, and way up in here is our external iliac artery. The branch off the external iliac is called the deep femoral, shown here. It gives rise to a PE trunk, that stands for pudendo-epigastric, and we will talk about what those vessels do later on. The continuation of the deep femoral after the PE trunk is called the medial circumflex femoral. Once the deep femoral has arisen, the artery of the main channel changes from external iliac to femoral. As we move down the femoral, we look cranially on the thigh, and we can find a nice vessel coming underneath the sartorius muscle. And this is an excellent example of a superficial circumflex iliac. Our main channel is still femoral. If I pull that artery back, I can see another large branch here, diving right between the rectus femoris and the vastus medialis, and that would be our lateral circumflex femoral. The lateral and medial circumflex femoral will encircle the femur and meet. As we head farther down the femoral artery, we're going to start looking for three major vessels that come to the caudal aspect of the femur. The first would be a proximal, then a middle, and a distal caudal femoral. This branch that goes to the gracilis, as well as the adductor, is a very good example of a proximal caudal femoral. If I reflect the gracilis and look for branches that go into the semimembranosus, that would be a beautiful example of a middle caudal femoral. As I continue down the femoral, I am now looking for an extremely large branch that comes off behind the knee, and that is the distal caudal femoral. After distal caudal femoral comes off, the main channel becomes popliteal. The popliteal will then change names after a caudal tibial comes off. In a dog, that caudal tibial will dive deep into the deep digital flexor muscle and is extremely difficult to find. Nevertheless, once that comes off, that popliteal artery will change to cranial tibial, which will then curve around the crus to become the cranial tibial artery, heading all the way down to the tarsus and then digits. We have a few other branches that we haven't talked about, so let's visit those very quickly. One of the things that we saw come off very superficially is this artery called the saphenous artery, and it goes with the saphenous nerve and the medial saphenous vein. That saphenous nerve arises from the femoral nerve, which innervates the quadriceps. These branches, also superficially located near where the saphenous arises, come down to the knee, and we're going to call those descending genicular. Genu means knee, so they're descending to the knee. And there can be more than one of those, that's just fine. So this concludes the video of the arteries in the pelvic limb of a dog.